Hello. Oh, I was doing a fun thing with my mic, and then I accidentally pushed the mute button.
Yeah, it
So
was
it,
fun. I watched it and
yeah,
I had
it
fun.
was fun, but
Yeah.
I accidentally pushed. This has a very sensitive, like, kind of mute trigger.
Yeah,
You know?
no. We use the same microphone.
Yeah, we do.
Just so audio fidelity on this
Here,
podcast is as high
let's
as
try this again.
possible.
Hello.
That's
That how
amazing.
was that? Was that did it sound good or did it just look fun?
No, it sounded great. I mean, what you guys don't know is that Ben has one of those like suspended by cord microphones, like a ring announcer at a big boxing match might have. Like it lowers down from his silly, so he's just like swinging it around like he's at the maypole or something like that.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Quest.
The Adventure Game Podcast.
I am Ben, PS _Garrick on Twitch and YouTube.
And I am Jess. That's Decaf Jedi, and both of those aforementioned places.
How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing well, Ben. I'm having a nice day. I'm coming into this. You'll probably see that I'm pretty punchy. I'm coming to this fresh off a hamburger, so I've got hamburger
Ooh.
energy. I've got
Oh, I'm ready to talk about my dinner too. So I'm glad
okay,
that
good,
you
good,
have
good. And I mean,
like
mine was very simple. This isn't a fancy hamburger. Like it was just like some American cheese and a little bit of like sriracha sauce on it. Like I'm keeping it real
was
simple.
this at home? Was
This is
this
a home
purchased
burger.
a home
Hashtag home
burger?
burger with some
Hashtag home burger.
hashtag home burger with some homemade. That's a pretty good hashtag.
Home burger.
That's a good hashtag.
That's a good hashtag.
I don't know. I don't know how we'll get it trending. Okay, here's the answer. If you're listening to this right now, go to Blue Sky,
Yeah.
and just
Blue Sky
grab
app.
the Blue Sky got app and just or Threads or whatever you use, and just go out there and just make a post about this episode and hashtag it Homeburger.
Hashtag home burger. Hashtag humor. It's like Obama was president once again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But so you were having a hashtag home burger
I was having a
with
hashtag Homeburger with some homemade macaroni salad. It's pretty good,
what's
Ben.
where were you what were we riding with this macaroni salad?
This macaroni salad was very vegetable forward. So whole lot
Hey,
of celery,
VF.
whole lot of carrots,
Mm,
whole lot of red peppers, red bell peppers,
yeah.
and then from there just a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of mayonnaise,
What
some
are we
lemon juice
using
in there.
Dukes?
Nah, we're using Aldi's, whatever Aldi's has. It's not
I bet
exciting.
Aldi is still better than Hellman's.
You don't like Hellman's?
I'm not a Hellman'sman.
You s- not like Hikaru Sulu. Um, no,
Oh, brother.
uh, yeah, no. I like Hellman's. That's what they use at Jimmy John's, and that place has sandwiches there so fast, Ben, you'll freak.
Jimmy John's is one of the places, like, you know, first off, all right, I've just said another thought that's in my head, which was somebody said on our Discord, which is in the links probably with this episode. Someone
Maybe
said on
not.
this Discord, I made a mistake listening to this podcast while I was hungry because we always talk.
It's at the forefront
Yeah,
of like what's on our minds as we come into
yeah.
these episodes. Yeah.
Uh, but then also, so Jimmy John's is one of the a place now. Like, every fucking place is owned by a monster. Like,
Yes.
whatever.
This
But
monster plasters his face all over
yeah,
their
like
stores too. So yeah,
I don't care for James John.
James
Uh
Jonathan.
James Jonathan. Like, which is a shame because it's like in Chicago, like, especially when I first moved here, because they're both out of like this area.
Mm-hmm.
When I say they're both, I'm about to name another place. Potbelly, another
Ah,
sandwich. Like, when I moved to Chicago, that, like, that was there's like this like fast food sandwich place I've never heard of, and there's two different ones, and they're in fierce competition. Like they're every fucking place. Potbelly's and Jimmy John's. And I preferred Jimmy John's to Potbelly's because it's a more straightforward sandwich.
Yeah.
Potbelly's has like all extra crap. I like how like straightforward a Jimmy John's is. But just when I heard that like Jimmy John is like a big game hunter and like just kind of like you can look him up. You could look that up. I don't
Mhm.
even know if he's like involved with Jimmy
Yeah.
John's anymore.
And this
The
is
the guy
actually a good
yeah,
yeah,
go
this
ahead.
is a good transition because we are talking about, Big Buck Hunter as our game
Yeah,
today. So
today's
this
game
is
is
yeah.
Big Buck Hunter. The guy that I stand with now, if I'm getting, I might have talked about this. If I'm getting a fast food sandwich, I'm getting a Jersey Mike. Like I like a Jersey Mike. Okay,
Jersey Mike's pretty good. I had one just, last week. Not bad,
but
not bad.
anyway, so
So I had
yeah,
a
now
hashtag home burger. What'd you have for dinner?
I made for dinner tonight chipotle orange tofu and cauliflower.
Okay, I love every
And
bit of that sentence.
I, listen, I I'll be honest, I'm a straight shooter here. Kicked ass. This is how good it was. Ready
Oh,
for
wow.
this?
Y'all ready for this?
I took out a pen and like wrote next to the recipe in my cookbook clean plate.
Wow. You joined the Clean Plate Club tonight?
I joined the clean plate club, but I like wrote in the cookbook. So when I'm flipping through it in
Mhm.
the future, because and here's the thing, I've never my mom does that, is that she'll write in a cookbook like not too good or like needs more
Mhm.
salt or like, takes longer than it says, etc. And I've never been like I've never done that. And then I started like and lately I've had moments where I'm like, what's my favorite fucking thing in here? What's my favorite? Because
Oh,
I
no.
have a ton of cookbooks. I love
Yeah.
cookbooks.
See, this is a brilliant idea. I
So I,
wish
I did it
I
today
could
for the first
emulate
time.
it. I can't write in books.
Oh my god, me neither. And they tried like
Okay, okay,
all right.
okay.
Jess, you're
Stop the
a
podcast.
fucking PhD.
Stop the podcast. I can't do this. I think it's a childhood growing up
Yeah.
collecting comic books. I think it's what it is. And this idea that like I'm keeping books in as pristine of condition as I can, but the thought of ever writing like in the
Right.
margins of highlighting a book,
Oh,
oh my god. Like that sort of like just the book is ruined once it's marked on.
I I have that same mental block, even though multiple people, it's like I have an English degree, and like that's something kind of
Yeah.
integral to having an
Yeah.
English degree is like multiple, like starting in high school, I had like there was a like my AP English teacher was like, these are books purchased for you. They're not the property of the high school. Like, here's your copy of Wuthering Heights, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, right in this book, like
Yeah.
that will help you like track like themes
Yeah.
and point of view and like all that. And like I still have somewhere, I think on one of my shelves, I might have finally let it go after a couple moves, but like a copy of Crime and Punishment where like the first chapter or two I have like a couple notes where like I could feel like my hand, just like Raskolnikov, as he, was struggling inside himself.
Yeah.
Uh, and like, and then like the rest of the book, completely free of notes. Also, I
Yeah.
didn't finish it, but
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, you don't need to.
yeah,
Um,
this is
eh,
what happens,
I saw the crime. I don't need to read about the punishment.
I saw the crime. He probably did the time. It's in
Yeah,
the title.
that
Uh,
was right. I mean, this is how bad it is for me. On two separate occasions in grad school, two separate professors called me out upon seeing a copy of a book I'd been assigned for class and accused me of not reading it because there was nary a mark anywhere in the book. And it's just I can't do it. I could
I've
never do it.
post-it noted a
I
book.
could do that. I could
I've
post the
post-it
note.
noted a book.
And I have friends who like had elaborate post-it noting systems with like different colors and all that sort of stuff. I could never be that. I
Yeah.
could
No, no,
I
no.
also used to have a really good memory and I could just remember where shit was in books, but that ship
Oh,
sailed. That's
well,
long, long ago.
just here's the thing. I think the project of this podcast and like is us discovering that we have very similar
Yes, I
like
think
minds.
so. I think so.
And uh um, so here's my question because this is true of me. Is it that you have a good memory or you just think you have a good memory?
There
And
was a
you've just
time,
age has taught you that you don't have a good
yeah.
memory.
You see, I'm actually going to say here, there was a time when I had a somewhat impressive memory. I wouldn't go so far as to call it like uncanny or anything, but I definitely know I do not have it anymore. I don't know where it went, but middle age has robbed me of this important talent. So yeah, I probably should start writing stuff in books now because I can't remember where I read anything
Mm.
anymore, which is a bummer. Now there is also the absolute worst version of this. Have you ever bought a book, Ben, used, where someone who didn't know what they were doing had marked it up and like just put really banal
Oh, I
observations in the margins and stuff like that?
well,
And
especially like, in college when you'd buy it like a used book.
yeah,
Like that would happen. I remember there was like and I don't remember what the book was, but I do remember like buying like some novel used
hmm,
in college, like at the textbook reseller and like kind of rolling my eyes when I was like thinking like why the fuck did this person highlight
yeah. What
like
a
this?
moron this
Like
person
you
must have been.
dumb dipshit.
Yeah. Once upon a time, back when my students actually would purchase and buy books before they just like decide not to do that part of being in college anymore, I would occasionally also see like the version of that where it's like I would see a page of their textbook and every word but like three on it would be highlighted. It's just like
Oh, I yeah, I saw that too. I remember seeing people do that in college too and just being like, "Yeah, is this just like kind of like a paint by numbers? Just want to make the book look a little
yeah.
more interesting."
But no, Ben, I just want to say the whole reason that we started down this road is like, I want to say I'm impressed that you overcame the hurdle of writing clean plate beside this recipe because that is,
I
I wish I could.
this is probably the cookbook that I use the most.
Hmm.
And so it's already like dog-eared and like the thing is and like this is true of it like of the cookbooks that I use frequently is like you can tell already like you can tell the recipes that I like to go back to because the pages are all like fucked
Yeah.
up anyway. Like they have like splat like the book is
Marinara
already
from 'em.
run in. It's a
Yeah.
well-loved cookbook.
Yeah.
This is by the way How to Cook Everything Fast by Mark Bittman. And I can go ask me if you care about it, ask me why on the Discord, I guess.
Yeah.
But because I do think it's an excellent cookbook.
Yeah. And I do think there'll be a link to the Discord in the show notes.
Perhaps. And but like so it's a pretty it's also like my like I learned most of my cooking from my mother and like you look at her cookbooks and they are covered with like and she'll do like and she's post-its and notes in
Oh
it
yeah.
itself and she yeah as I said like there's a whole thing an interesting thing going back to like notes that you found in books which is I there was a copy of at my alma mater there was a copy of I think it was Faulkner's Light in August
Okay.
maybe it was Sound and Fury but I think it was Light in August where like this was a library copy, but like people were kind of penciling in like thoughts, and then on the back two like blank pages, there was like a at least like a decade long like bathroom wall discussion about the book.
Oh
Like
wow.
people would write a couple
Now
sentences,
this I like.
and I was like, and I didn't have any like I don't know if I have anything to add to the Light in August discussion. It's been on my reread as an adult list. That's still sitting. That was one of the books I got in high school. Like that's still sitting on the shelf. But speaking of William Faulkner, Jess, we've got emails.
That's from William Faulkner?
Yeah.
From the Faulkner estate asking us not to talk about him anymore?
Yeah. All right, let's take a look here. All right, our first email is from Dan. Dan says, "Hi, Ben and Jess. Hope this email finds you both well. Thank you."
Well, one of us more so than the other.
Well, all right. Well, because he put me first, and I appreciate it. Loving the podcast so far. I was born in '85, so right near me, and cut my teeth on my older brother's Sierra games on our 286, which I was, my older sister had a 286 that she took to college. Yeah. And that's what we played Wishbringer on. Anyway, those old games and the memories I have playing them are still very dear to me. It's been great to re-experience these games with you guys. Jess. There you go, Jess. Lock in.
All right. I'm going to start paying attention now.
Yeah. In the most recent episode, and this would be two before this one, you discussed Alien. Happy to report I had this one way back in the day. The opening storm sequence terrified me as a child. Would I still find it terrifying? Maybe. I'll have to check out your recent playthrough and find out.
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, first of all, I've had several people come forward and say, I had this game too on social media. A lot of them saying it's like, I've been trying to track down this game I played as a kid forever, and thank you for finally giving me the title of it. Yeah, that opening storm sequence that I talked about in my solo Quest episode, it is pretty intense. Like as a kid, that mounting sense of tension and just like, you know, the ominous idea that a storm is rolling in if you haven't found shelter in time is good stuff. I mean, a lot of games since then have done that sort of thing even better. But for an early text adventure, I loved that bit about it. I think it is worth going back and revisiting.
So there's a little more. To be honest, I'm not even sure where we got our copy of Alien. It was just one of those, and this is proper nouns, games before time that I stumbled upon while poking around our 286 hard drive, along with titles like Bouncing Babies and Microsoft Decathlon. It wasn't until much later that I'd have a chance to check out other text adventures like Infocom's offerings. Anyways, keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Got an email here from Jason. Hi, Jess and Ben. I was one of those guys that didn't realize. I was one of those people. I'm skipping ahead, adding a guy for reasons you'll understand. It's one of those people that didn't realize there was a Kickstarter from the two guys from Andromeda until years after it launched. I've followed the weirdness for a few years now, and I'd love to hear a podcast about it. Not for dirt or anything, but just because Space Quest was the first adventure game I ever played. It inspired me so much that I made my parents take me to the original Sierra headquarters for a visit. Hold on! I've read this email, and somehow I was just so focused on the space venture part of this that this part of it kind of fell out of my head. Parentheses, where I actually got to meet Ken and Roberta Williams.
Oh, man. That's the dream. By the time I got to the Sierra headquarters, it was like a proctology office. And I didn't want to meet that guy.
Not yet. Anyway, it's a fascinating project that I feel has been overshadowed by ugliness. There's been Kickstarter drama.
Yeah.
I remain a fan of Scott and Mark, and am sad the experience and outcome more likely means that we will never get anything else from them. Thanks for the consideration. Love the show, Jason.
Thank you, Jason, for that one.
So here's the thing: we have not spoken, whatever, about. We haven't had a Space Quest episode, even though you ran a Space Quest website that was so big in the 90s, it was listed in a magazine.
It was in books and things. Like when you used to be able to go out and buy like a book that just had all the websites in it. And it was just like, here's one of the websites. It's Roger Wilco's virtual broom closet. Yeah, I think we've mentioned Space Quest a number of times offhandedly, but we haven't done like a deep dive into it. And I have to assume that's coming of it. Why haven't we talked about Space Quest? Ben, why won't you let me have a Space Quest episode?
I think part of it is that we're already doing like kind of checking in on two Sierra series.
Yes.
Like we're working through Quest for Glory and King's Quest. And so it's like we don't
And Police Quest or the
Police
works of Jim
Quest,
Wallace.
yeah, 3. So it's like all right, so maybe maybe why not, I guess. But also like I think the thing is that like, this is time for my terrible admission, which is that I don't have the level of passion for Space Quest that Space Quest fans do.
What? What? Ben, that's disappointing. I mean,
A very
I like
passionate
Space
fan
Quest.
base, as you well know.
Yes, that's right.
Like, yeah.
That is already being served by other content creators. So, like we're a little bit off the hook on having to talk about Space Quest if we don't want to.
But
I want to.
So we'll get to Space Quest, and then we'll probably get to Space Venture with that. I mean, like and Jess, you alluded, yeah, that's a good point. Like it's like watch all of Trolls' videos.
Yeah, Space Quest historian has given us exhaustive coverage of the Space Quest series, and I mean, my website's still out there. SpaceQuest.net's still out there.
What does the WIW stand for on that?
Okay, so the URL for that website is wiw.org/Jess or ~Jess. Roger.html. WIW stands for What is WIW?
Is that real?
That's real. Apparently, the guy who runs the server in chats used to frequently misspell wow when he would be chatting as WIW. And yeah, apparently he claims that WIW, that part of this URL for this 1990s website, stands for What is WIW?
There's
which is a very assisted men in the 90s answer.
Yeah, I was going to say. There's a real 90s internet, like, yeah, sysop humor. Yeah. Like, there's a real BBS type of humor there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we both, like, just immediately were like, yeah, that's how they were.
Yeah, send that one into the letters column in 2600 or something. Yeah, that's
Wired.
Yeah. I mean, he also gave me one of my favorite quotes of all time that I frequently use and have yet to have come back to haunt me. He would frequently say, backups are bad karma, which is a bold stance for a
sysadmin?
A sysadmin, but I kind of love the vibe of it. Like, I mean, obviously it'd be a tragedy if something went wrong. So preparing for it to go wrong is like inviting tragedy.
Yeah. And speaking about inviting tragedy, Jess, what have you been playing?
Ben, I have been playing. I think this is
what
probably
are you playing on your Ambernick this week?
It may not be on my Ambernick for all you know, Ben. I may have been playing on some other platform or device or whatever. It just so happens it was with my retro handheld that I was playing this week. I bet this is one you've played because I'm running like 22 years behind you right now. Ben, I've been playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Great game.
Amazing game. Great game. This is for the Game Boy Advance, if y'all don't know it.
It's completed that game, which I rarely do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm like 3 hours in and just absolutely loving it. If y'all don't know this one, it's sort of a offshoot of the Mario RPG and Paper Mario kind of franchise. It's a slightly simplified RPG with Mario and Luigi doing stuff in the Mushroom Kingdom and everything else. It has some of the like timing-based attacks and dodges that you might know from, say, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door or other games in the series like that. It is just charming. The level of writing in it is much better than it should be. Like for a portable game, it looks gorgeous, like most everything does on the Game Boy Advance. It seems like, oh, just what a nice looking system.
Yeah, I bought that I did have that. I bought that at release. I had it on. I had one of the like the second gen like flippy Game Boy Advances. I had like this like kind of like indigo Game Boy Advance. I have a very intense memory of sitting on like the floor, maybe the beanbag chair in my childhood bedroom, or I guess the teenagehood bedroom, like playing like the final boss. And like finally beating that game there. Like that was a game I could not put down. The GBA, if you are opening up the GBA back catalog for the first time, you're gonna have a good time. The GBA has an excellent back catalog.
There are a ton of bangers in there. Yeah, and I mean with the retro handheld, one thing that's nice about it, I mean this thing can play, you know, PlayStation games or Super NES games or Dreamcast games or things like that. But the nice thing about playing GBA games, or really any portable game, is already they've taken into consideration things like, oh, you're playing this on a small screen, so we're not going to use the tiniest typeface possible for the UI. I mean, it's the perfect little handheld device to be playing GBA games on. And oh man, this one's so good. I mean, I love Thousand Year Door. I'm sure you knew that, right? You knew I was a Thousand Year Door guy. Oh yeah, huge Thousand Year Door guy. And I didn't play it until years and years later. I didn't. I didn't have a
1,000 years later.
It was literally 1,000 years later. I walked through the door and I said, I think I'm going to pick up this game and play it. And I called that door the Thousand Year Door.
Here's my thing about Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is, as like I played it, I played the hell out of it, I like beat the hell out of it, I had a wonderful time, and then I never completed or enjoyed quite the same way another Mario and Luigi again. I was just like, wow, this game was excellent, and it has fulfilled that need. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's something about a game that's like, yeah, that itch is scratched now. I don't need to go back to that genre necessarily.
It was a very thorough got it in one.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, I just don't need more. And like I would go back every now and again, be like, oh, maybe I'll like this new one. Oh, this one, like, you know, added this thing. And I go and I play it, and I, you know, maybe even make it far. I made it. Bowser's Inside Story is pretty good. But like I didn't play it all the way, like because like I played it and I was just like, you know what? Like it was just a got it in one. Like I really think what I will say to you though is that if you are enjoying it, instead of moving on to another Mario and Luigi, and I say this to the listeners too, if you like Mario and Luigi, this is a kind of a hidden gem GBA game I was playing. I played on my Android. It's a game that did not come to the United States. You have to get like a fan translation. It's this game. It's the first game that studio made, which is called Tomato Adventure.
Oh,
and so like you have to, and it's not that like, and I want to be clear, this is not like, this sounds technical and complicated. It's not. Like you just have to find Tomato Adventure and then like run the patch on it in the same way that you would another recommended GBA game, Mother 3. You just run it like through this program, automatically patches it. Takes like, it's not very hard. Yeah, Tomato Adventure. If you enjoy, and the fan translation I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy Mario and Luigi, Tomato Adventure is like really cute and clever, and it's outside of, because I think after Mario and Luigi, that's all they did, or like I think that they were just kind of in the Nintendo world
Yeah.
after that, like, and so Tomato Adventure is kind of a fun, like, it's like, oh, what would they do if they didn't have like the Mario, like the Mushroom Kingdom to play around in. And yeah, play Mother 3. But I mean, you've had the whole internet tell you that. So
Yeah, no, I've heard
you
about
don't
this
need-
Mother 3 before.
you don't need. Did you ever play Earthbound?
No, I didn't. I probably should.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I tried
Like,
playing Harvest Moon for the first time the other day.
Did
It's
you
nothing
play?
like that. It was just cute. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Did you play Stardew Valley?
No, I've never done farming sim.
You know what? Like, here's the thing. I got really into Stardew Valley and I had a lovely time, and I played the hell out of it. And then like I played a little bit of like the game Harvest Moon and all that. And I was just like, oh no. Stardew, like, it's another case of, it's like, no, this itch is taken care of.
Done.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's funny, I played Undertale, which is a game that is intensely, certainly inspired by Earthbound. And I played that first, and then I was like, I guess I should play like Mother 3 and Earthbound. And I played both. Didn't finish either. And it was just like, huh. Yeah, pretty good.
Well, there you have it. You know what? Video games?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're pretty good.
Pretty good. Mother 3, like, yeah, Mother 3 is cool because it's just part of, like, you play and you're like, man, the GBA just had some real bangers. Like, it just really, it surprises you as a platform when you play it. There's some really kind of surprising games on the Game Boy Color too. I recommend taking a look at some of the Game Boy, like, Game Boy Color Zeldas aren't like incredible or great, but they're interesting. In fact, all of the portable like Zeldas, like what is it, Minish Cap?
Minish Cap is fantastic.
Yeah,
It
like
looks
all of
wonderful.
those are pretty neat. Like, they're not going to, no one's gonna be like, oh, it's like Ocarina or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and like Link's Awakening is obviously like, that's the gold standard of them. Everything after that is not like quite up to that, but they're all pretty, like, you play them, you're like, pretty good.
Zelda's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ben, enough about me.
right.
What have you been playing? And don't try to use this as a segue.
Oh, all right. Yeah. You know what? For segue purposes, I'll turn off the music.
Oh gosh, that's how serious this is.
Yeah, that's how serious this is. So, recently, two things happened recently. One is that you got a DM. Is that right? It was a DM? Because it would have been an email, because I have access to the email.
Yes, and you won't give it to me.
No, I refuse.
I never see any of the people who write in and says like, Jess, we love what you do on the podcast. You should talk more and not let Ben dominate.
There's
it.
a massive trash can, like Gmail trash can of all the just centric fan mail.
Yeah, no, and I've never seen a word of it. So keep writing. I wish I had my own email address, but I signed those over to Ben when we did the paperwork to create this LLC.
So two things happened. One of them is that Jess got a DM. The DM was who from?
Wait, no, what DM are we talking? Let me make sure.
You got the game codes for the game I'm about.
Oh
to
yeah. We got the game codes. That's right. I was making sure I was on the same, because we've gotten some other interesting DMs recently.
No. We'll those DMs we'll talk about later. The saucy ones.
Oh, the saucy DMs. That's right.
No. Yeah.
The secret DMs. Oh, you see, now I'm on the right page, Ben. Ben, we received a DM from Dave Lloyd, part of Powerhoof, who recently released a game, The Drifter, one that's been getting a lot of attention in adventure gaming circles. And he was kind enough to share with us. He's a listener. Hey, Dave, I hope you're listening now. He was kind enough to share with us keys for the drifter, some Steam keys. So
So
that's
yeah,
part one of this story.
so that's part one of the story. Thank you, Dave. Part
Thank you
two of
so
this
much.
story is that I got COVID. So
Yes.
so I'm sitting here stuck inside my fucking palatial mansion, and
He sent
like
his servants home.
yeah, I said I don't want to give my servants COVID.
No,
Uh,
they'd have to take time off
yeah, ugh. And I had them work for me. Yeah, oh,
remotely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, uh, uh, so like here I am, COVID in one hand, uh, and just almost
Wash
did a
that
spit
hand.
take,
Yeah.
and then in the other hand, this Steam code for this game that's getting a lot of positive buzz out there, and I was like,
That's
all
deck
right,
friendly.
oh yeah, that's deck friendly, which is very important because I was in bed. And
Hmm.
then so yeah, that's also that's a important component to this story is that like I'm in bed, my whole fucking body hurts, and I've got my Steam Deck. I'm not gonna finish reading the Elmore Leonard book I'm working on. It's pretty good. Freaky deaky, it's fine. Anyway, but I was like, I have my Steam Deck, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll start this game. Jess, not 2 hours ago, I rolled credits on it. So like that was in a couple days, I like burnt through 8.5 hours, bang, 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 done with this game. Uh
And I've
uh
been getting some messages along the way about how much you've been enjoying this. Right, this is a game that really grabbed you.
yeah, it is it's a game, and like it is like, and this is how they advertise it. This is it. Like it has good pacing, and I'm a pace freak.
Oh man, I have never
People
thought about pacing in adventure games more than I have the last week or so.
why? Why,
no,
Jess?
no
Why?
reason. I mean, uh, you know,
What's making you think about pace? Is it because you're playing something that's really well paced?
well, no, it's not that. You're close.
Am I warm?
I mean, I am playing a game that pacing has really struck me. And we don't want to dwell on this because this will eventually, I think, probably be an episode where I just like rant and rave for 75 minutes. But I've been playing Simon the Sorcerer, and God,
A
that
game
thing
that is
is just
beloved.
a beloved classic. And I'm sorry to all the listeners who like their ears perked up in their car as they're commuting to work. It's like, oh, they're going to talk about Simon the
My
Sorcerer.
friend Jess.
Yeah, my friend, whose opinions I respect, and we tend to like a lot of the same games. And surely this like top 20 of all time adventure has made an impression on him as he's played it for the first time. I don't like Simon the Sorcerer, but that's beside the point. Ben, this is a game with good pacing. Simon the
It's
Sorcerer is
a
dead on the screen.
like this is how like it has pretty straightforward puzzles. It has like good. It has kind of this like it a very kind of like pulp kind of like hooky story that like kind of it's broken up into chapters, and it like they all have like I wouldn't say they have cliffhanger endings, but they do have like you're kind of enticed. You're like, I want to know what happens next. It's not like, but though I did love the episodes end with continue or save and quit, which I thought was great. I was like, you hit save and quit, it doesn't even put you in the main menu, kicks you out of the fucking game. You're back in Steam.
There
You're
you go.
paying.
I like a game that respects my time.
It's just like, all right, you're done, get out,
Did you grab a
and
snack?
yeah, oh yeah, you can get a snack. Uh, um, but yeah, it's a really like it's got really great pace, has good voice acting, which like I've been playing on my stream recently. I've been playing Locomotive, which we've already talked about
Mm-hmm.
on this podcast. You should play that too, and look like like both of these games, excellent voice performances, really striking voice performances in both of them. But yeah, so I was laid up in bed for a bit. I think you can tell I'm feeling better. So don't, like feel pretty good. I'm on Jess, I think right now I'm on like kind of that manic kick of I'm not feeling sick anymore. You know that
Yes.
feeling? Like
Yes,
I'm
yes,
I'm
yes,
feeling the
absolutely.
full rush of like, ooh, oh, like it
You know what I
doesn't
always
hurt.
do that day too? I'm like, I'm going to push myself to my limits to prove I'm no longer sick. And then usually get like a full day of rebound sickness because of how
Yeah, I'm aware
like
of that. So
yeah, no,
I've
I'm like I'm going hard. As soon as the first time I don't cough within 10 minutes of waking up, I'm going out and rubbing my COVID face and everybody I see. And just really just out there in the world.
no, I'm playing it easy, playing it. I'm still haven't, still not mixing it up, but I've got the manic energy. I've been like kind of bouncing around the walls
Yeah. No,
here.
no.
And
I know that feeling.
but yeah, like so I played it and it kind of actually kind of spun up the idea for what we're going to talk about in today's podcast, like I don't know, 40 minutes in, which is uh grown up, like games for grown-ups. Now of course, like what does that mean? What do I mean when I say that? Like, a kid, I mean, I wouldn't recommend this game for kids. It's got a lot of blood. It's kind of scary. It's not like especially like it's if you're not into horror, which I'm not, like you're not going
Hmm.
to be like, you know, terrified. Um but it's spooky.
Yeah.
And it's bloody and it also like it's about serious adult themes
Yeah.
and not like like fucking or whatever. Like it's about loss and it's about trauma and it's about like how people treat like the homeless. Like it uses a bunch of ideas that if I played this as a child, if I played this as a 10-year-old, it would scare the shit out of me because I was
Yes.
a sensitive little boy. Like Space Quest 5, here's a little preview. Space Quest 5 scared the shit out of me. I had to delete the game after I saw Captain Quirk's face melting off.
Yeah. Which is why Ben won't let me have a Space Quest episode.
Yeah,
Every
that's
time I'm like, "Wait,
it's
let's do a
because of
Space
my
Quest
trauma.
episode." Yeah. And I
Uh,
respect that.
but it's a like, and so you know, when I say grown-up games, I mean games that uh like that are made thinking of an audience of adults that generally kind of respects their intelligence. This doesn't mean like it's like obviously and we're going to talk about like the Leisure Suit Larry games obviously. But like you played those as a kid. We've talked
Absolutely.
about this.
Yeah.
um
No, yeah. As a kid who probably was not ready to play the Leisure Suit Larry games, as a particularly naive child in the ways of love making, unlike now.
I'm laughing about I'm thinking of a funny Garfield I read. Um, but
It
oh,
was
you
about
must
love
have read that
making.
Garfield too.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, Ben, before we get into this, I mean, I don't even know. Like, are we cool to talk about that? Let me ask you a few questions just before we jump
Oh,
into
sure, yeah. Ask
like
me
into
ask me questions to like. Are you trying to prove if I'm an adult?
I mean, I don't want to say what I'm trying to prove or not prove, but if I
Okay.
ask you, Johnny Carson is a singer, B, David Letterman's sidekick, C, Ed McMahon's sidekick, or D, an actor, what would you answer?
Hmm. Uh, he, an actor.
Oh man. Okay, question number two. I'm not going to tell you how you do on that one.
Okay. Okay.
Pia Zadora is A, sexy,
Okay.
B, a singer,
Right.
C, short,
Okay.
or D, all of the above.
Can I understand the bit that we're doing, but can I also say, like, I think the thing that Pia Zadora is famous for, and this isn't like, and famous for, if you have a memory back to, I don't know, 30 years ago, is trying to buy an Oscar or something.
Oh, really?
I think she did. Hold on. Let me, am I gonna go, like, am I defaming her? I'm pretty sure, like, there was a big,
Oh no.
I,
Yeah.
I know this, uh, she was in, the, let's see, film, da 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 da, like, uh, all right, well, nothing's showing up on the old Wikipedia, so maybe I'm
Okay.
it,
Apologies to Pia Zadora. We
Pia
didn't mean to.
Zadora.
Yeah.
I swear, you know what? I'm not gonna. There's too much on this Wikipedia page.
Okay, Ben. Ted Kennedy is best remembered for his A,
Hmm.
driving,
All right.
B, underwater freestyle,
Okay.
C, brothers, or D, all of the above.
Well, there's only one Kennedy I know right now, and I admire him entirely. Oh,
I
I
mean, these
don't.
are tough. I mean, these so far have not verified to me that you're 18 or older. Someone who's 18 or older would have a comprehensive knowledge of Spiro Agnew, who makes up, it looks like, roughly 10% of the age verification questions in Leisure Suit Larry 1. I mean, and this is what I faced as a 12-year-old was, this challenge of how do I get into this game with all these different questions. But I was also a 12-year-old who owned encyclopedias. So, in fact, I was able to access Leisure Suit Larry quite easily and experience all of its adult themes and content.
Now, Jess, I was listening to most of this, but I'm looking at, like, a Hollywood Reporter story about how, like, there was, like, this is like an unfair accusation that was made of her. I'm going to assume it's probably like sexist or something. So I take it back. I'm so sorry, Pia Zadora,
Wow.
for perpetuating
Wow.
a harmful myth.
Wow, Ben.
Um,
I
Also,
can't
I
believe it.
only know Pia Zadora from Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
I only know her from the Leisure Suit Larry age verification test.
Oh.
But
Um,
no, I mean, you've never played Larry, right?
I have tootled around in the first Larry, and that's it.
Okay. So I'm guessing that means probably you didn't play Larry's predecessor, Soft Porn Adventure, either.
No. Have you played Soft Porn
I have
Adventure?
played Soft Porn Adventure. It was on
Didn't
one of the Larry collections through the years.
didn't, like, Al Lowe, like, say it was, like, written as if, like, it was written by an engineer or something like that? Like, didn't
I
he?
think so. Yeah, I think you said that. Yeah, and wasn't the joke you'd have to be wearing a leisure suit to enjoy this game or something like
Something
that?
like
And
that,
that
yeah.
was yeah. I mean, yeah, Sophomore Adventure, this text adventure that was eventually turned into Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards. Part of this, sort of early era of adult themed adventure games. Did you know that Sophomore Adventure is set in a post apocalyptic future?
I think that's, like, a fun fact that somebody told me once, and I was like, "What? Huh."
Yeah. It's like in a post atomic future. I don't know why you're set up to a guy going to Las Vegas trying to get laid would need like the framing of uranium clouds in the skies and things like that. But
Seems like one of those things that, like, probably, like, whoever designed that, like, put in there to just kind of amuse himself. Like, it's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna make, like, this little, like, sexy little adventure game," and like, and like this text adventure that Leisure Suit Larry one's based off of, and you know what, I'm just gonna, like, throw this in here as a non sequitur. That's a pretty good joke,
it's a
honestly.
pretty good joke. I mean, I'm here for it. And I mean, there are a lot of games that would follow up on this sort of model, trying to engage with sex and naughty things like that. I mean, what Infocom had the leather goddess of
Leather
Phobos.
Goddesses of Phobos, which has a, like, also, like, there was a sequel,
Yeah,
which is
I've got
supposed to
the
be
title
terrible.
here. Leather Goddesses of Phobos 2, Gas Pump Girls Meet the Pulsating Inconvenience from Planet X, which is, I mean, if that doesn't grab you, I don't know what will. you've got games like Spellcasting 101 and all. It's like frat boy fantasy sex romp. So it's Revenge of the Nerds turned into like Simon the
So
Sorcerer.
so
Uh,
here's my question for you, Jess. It's like, so within the parameters of like grown up games. So it's like now we're talking like a little bit about like adult
yes.
games, because you know, this is why, like, if I say adult games, you know, it just has the connotation of sex
Yeah.
games.
18 plus, rated M for mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you, how much of the audience do you think is like, how aware of it is like Leisure Suit Larry, that, like, you know, 12-year-olds are playing it? Like, you had to have like a pretty good sense, right?
I mean, I think Leisure Suit Larry in particular, and most of these other games I played, like, less manly, Rex Nebular kind of dips into this territory a little bit. Generally speaking, most of these games, whether intentionally or not, come across, in my experiences, as certainly a little bit more juvenile and adolescent. Like, I don't think anyone would mistake Leisure Suit Larry for like an adult perspective on sex and relationships. I mean, and maybe if there are people like that out there, that's upsetting to some degree. But yeah, I mean, to me, these feel like, you know, games that are made for probably a teenage audience that likes the idea of boobs as much as they do a fart joke in most cases. That's my take on it. Maybe I don't know. I think there are probably some of these erotic games that try to strike a more mature, like Cocktail Vision.
Yeah, I
Before
was gonna say that. Yeah.
Goblins 3, very sexy.
Oh my
Um,
god, yes.
Finally,
Oh,
someone said it, right? No, but I mean, they had like what, Geisha, Fascination, Emmanuel. They had a series of these that were all,
did they
you
do
know,
Deja Vu? Was that them?
I don't think that was
Or am I thinking, no,
them.
or am I thinking of something else? I might be mixing it up with
Yeah,
something else.
but I mean, I think those were aimed. I don't know that anyone looks upon those games particularly fondly as like great, great adult, you know, adventures necessarily. But I think when you're dealing with, especially the comedy adult, sexy games, generally, I think they're aiming for like a 14-year-old boy is the target audience on those.
And those with who are 14-year-old boys at heart, which is a lot of people. Um
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, many of us have the spirit of our 14-year-old boy selves inside of us, and there's fun to be had with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is the kind of. I mean, this isn't the kind of mature or adult that the Drifter is,
no.
or a lot of the other games we want to talk about
I mean, there is a
today.
hardcore sex scene.
Yeah,
But other than that,
yeah. But I mean, yeah, just because there's a hardcore sex scene, I mean, if that's the case, King's Quest V
yeah, like, yes, yeah,
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure. Yeah, then
yeah.
yeah, King's
One
Quest V
scene,
is an adult game, if you
yeah,
count all the, like, yes, like Mixed Up Mother Goose, sure.
yeah. One scene doesn't like dictate the whole
No.
tone of
No,
a
no.
game. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Ben, have you ever played into these sexy games before we move on to talk about maybe some other definitions of what adult or mature might look like? Do you have a sexy game past?
No.
That's true.
Yeah, no.
But
It's
yeah,
also, it's like not only
Saint Ben
like, I
over here.
it's not even like a saintly thing. Like, it's more that it's just like, there's part of those Leisure Suit Larry games that
They're
have
terrible.
not
They
aged well.
they weren't cool then. Some of those parts
All right.
either.
Well, like, yeah,
There's
it was like you were handed things that were like rotten milk. Now it's
yeah.
like 30 years
Beyond
later,
that, yeah,
and that rotten
yeah,
milk that you started
yeah.
with has become something even
Yeah.
worse.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes. There's some ups. There's a reason why I've streamed a few Leisure Suit Larry games, and there are others that I will never stream.
I remember, I have a strong memory, and I don't. like I'm sure you'll know which Larry it is. I don't know, but like I was like streaming something once, and I was like rapping. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll raid into someone, and like people are chat. I was like, does anyone have a suggestion? Someone's like, oh, so and so is playing. I think it was like five, like Leisure Suit Larry 5. And then like a person popped in and was like, "Oh my god, she's getting to. We have to go in there now." Was that 5? Is 5 the one with like the horribly racist scene, or is that another one?
Well, I mean, 5 is the most egregious
I'm
of.
referring to the most egregious racist scene.
Yes, that's yeah. I mean, 5. I mean, for those who aren't familiar, has in the year 1990, whatever, a sequence involving blackface that doesn't play then and certainly doesn't play now very well. And then there are problematic bits. I mean, in all the, but I mean, 5 and 6, I think in particular, 6 is pretty nasty in a lot of ways, and not one that I think is held up at all. But yeah, I mean, this is I think again that sort of pushing the boundaries of PC culture, I guess as they would have called it back
We
in the
never
90s.
got that Al Low like political satire game, which
Oh, capital punishment. Oh man, he would have yeah, he would have really you know, given us something to think about when it comes to the Whitewater scandal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Whitewater scandal.
Do you remember?
It
Can you
was
imagine if a
terrible.
politician today speculated on real estate?
I've
Like that, yeah, I mean that'd end a career. We take these things so much more seriously now.
the Whitewater scandal. But
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Larry. I can. I mean, I again, my parents. I have told this story before, but my mom like got me this for my 12th birthday, and she played it before she gave it to me. It was like, yeah, this is a game that's appropriate to Jess. Yeah, just like hand this to him, and then they never ever had the talk with me. Maybe Leisure Suit Larry 1 was the talk. Maybe that was in lieu of me learning about the birds and the bees from them. I'm not sure.
so when we were talking about this, like I kind of split it up into like three kind of ways, but I'm sure there's even other ways you could split this up, and like things don't fit even neatly into this. But I was thinking of like there's adult games, which we just spoke about, um and then there's stuff that is like a little more like maybe densely wordy, like that is like kind of grown up in like kind of a like a literature kind of
Yeah,
way. And then there's like stuff that might be inappropriate, like because it is like because it might be like too scary, or like have stuff. And again, like a lot of a friend of mine watched Fire Walk with Me when she was like 10 or 11. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Jess. That's the Twin Peaks movie.
hmm I
Uh,
have not seen it, but
Not a movie to watch as a child. And I was
yeah,
like, what did you think about this movie that has that is abs 1 billion% inappropriate for kids when you watched it as a kid? She's like, I liked it. What a That's odd.
sure, sure.
She's great. You know what? Maybe it twisted her in just the right way, you know?
There you have it.
Uh, but, uh, uh, so, like, I would say, like, a game like the Drifter, like, it deals with, like, mature themes, which I would, like, say, like, kind of put it in one part of that category, like
hmm
talking about trauma and talking about loss and talking about like the unhoused and
Yeah,
stuff
here we're
like
talking
that.
about not adult, like as in boobs, but
Yeah,
rather in like things like existential dread and grief and aging and addiction and themes that, yeah, kids aren't looking for in a video
no.
game.
And so like to you know so talking about like ones games I've played that are a little more like kind of like meant for grown-ups, like kind of in how they tackle themes, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'll return to Norco. Like we don't have to, go all the way on that. We have a whole fucking podcast about that.
And it's a good one. Good game, good episode.
I was Jess, I was at a party where the podcast came up because I was talking to someone who may be a future guest, which you and
Oh.
I know about. But so like the podcast came up because I was pitching it to this person. And then like other people like kind of came up and they're like, "Oh, you do a podcast? What about venture games?" And the person like looked at me and goes, "Have you done one about Norco?" And that was the
Oh, man.
one that we had
That's a real one.
just put out. Like I
Oh.
was like, we just released an episode on Norco a couple days ago.
You said we hated it.
Yeah, it was dog shit.
I can't believe you
Where's the
even bring it up.
boobs?
But no, Norco is a great example of this. I mean, again, I there may be kids, maybe older teenagers or something, grab a game like that and it might appeal to them. But I mean, this is dealing with family trauma. It's dealing again with the plight of the unhoused in its own way. I mean, it's engaging with illness and death and sanity at some level, and it's
And
yeah it
also like, the like what, like the tragedy of like Hurricane Katrina and stuff like
yeah
that. Like
yeah
and it is also like extremely fucking dense in words. Like it's reading a book when you play that game.
yeah
And it expects you to like be on that level with you. Like a game I like playing a game like Norco not only because it's like beautiful and it touched me, but also because like it treats me like a grown up. Like it's like I have all these big ideas that you have to kind of sit with, you know?
yeah. You may actually have to do those things you learned in your high school English class of like thinking about themes and
Jess,
yeah,
Jess,
it's not yeah.
my monitor was covered with pen marks.
Ben, don't do that.
And then they
Ben,
kept they
no.
didn't make any sense. I would hit, you know. I was like, wait, what? I was highlighting passages, and then it was just a mess.
That's why I keep one of those like clear whiteboards like you see in movies sometimes to write all this sort of stuff down on. It's very impractical, but it looks very futuristic and cool, the transparent whiteboard. So
Yeah,
no, I mean this one, I thought of some other games that I
I have
felt
a couple too in this
like.
category.
I'm guessing you're going to mention Kentucky Route Zero.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah, I mean, hit me with that one.
Kentucky Route Zero is like in the same way like of Norco is that it's
Mhm.
like this really beautifully written game that like and also is like beautiful to look at and to hear. We've already talked about its incredible music. It is a game that is like I think if I played it as a kid, I'd be like kind of intrigued by it, but probably bored by it because
Yeah,
it's just a lot of like again it's a fucking novel, and it's a novel about like again big ideas. It's about addiction and loss and not like and the people who are forgotten and like trying to pull yourself out of like a tragedy and people who are left behind and so many other like and it has a lot of like very like capital B capital I big ideas and what I like, I think about Norco and I think about Kentucky Route Zero. And what I like about those games is also it's like both of them aren't like they don't give you everything that you want. And by
Right.
that I mean like it doesn't tie up everything in a nice tidy package. Gonna find people like kind of pissed off online because they're going to be annoyed that like oh it doesn't resolve the plot or whatever. Like in
Yeah.
Norco there are people like, well wait, what is this, what is this?
Yeah.
It's like
Norco doesn't even like super clearly tell you exactly what you just played.
yeah,
And I kind of love that about it.
the
Like, yeah,
the like there's like the end sequence of Norco, you're starting to enter like some stuff that's just straight up metaphor. Like it's just
yeah.
like you're like I don't know what's going on. And in the case of Norco, like you know the people that made it have a very clear vision of what it is, and like you know put out little drips and drabs. Like there's a little thing you can find on
Hmm.
itch that kind of spells some stuff out. But like I have the Norco that I walked away from
Yeah.
with it, and like because of its ambiguities and because
Yeah.
of like kind of like the big blank spots that it
Hmm.
leaves open within like the text. And so I'm kind of like, well, you know, I believe that this means this. And
Yeah.
it's the same, like it's the same with Kentucky Route Zero, is that it's like it's a game that isn't interested in giving you everything.
Hmm.
And maybe the people that made it like have everything, maybe they don't. I don't care to have like the people that made Kentucky Route Zero like sit me
Yeah.
down and be like, this is what I meant.
This is why you're constantly saying death to all authors.
Yeah. And
Just-
that's why this is the last podcast, because there's like, you know, 20 fucking federal troops right outside my door.
Oops.
They caught me.
Well, it was bound to happen, folks. Thanks for listening. Kill the music. Kill the music.
Yeah.
You know,
What
and
other games for grown-ups? I have a couple others in my but please, you know,
yeah, I
I've
mean,
talked
one
enough.
that struck me, and this isn't one I actually haven't finished this one. I need to go back and revisit it, but I played it a bit at release. Night in the Woods, I think
I gotta
is
fucking play that. I think I have it too.
yeah, no, I played it at release and I got distracted by something. Ben, what year do you think Night in the Woods came out?
I'm thinking 2016.
Okay, 2017. You see, I would have put that like 2020, but
Nope.
time is
I
meaningless
I
nowadays.
think I think that's where what you were going for, but I think like because once again, the project of this podcast is actually it's not about adventure games, it's actually about us like kind of, and I think of it as a 2020 game because for some reason I had a ton of free time in 2020, and so that
Yes.
was like one of the things of it's like, oh, I'll play this because I have a ton of free time.
Yeah.
And so
And I
that's
mean,
kind of why I associate it with 2020.
yeah, if you know Night in the Woods, I mean, it's an adorable looking game about a cat. Which you know, boy, kids love cats and stuff.
All right,
But
well, Jess,
yeah,
you're wrong.
it has like a storybook kind of aesthetic to it, very beautiful. But again, it's dealing with a little bit weightier themes. You have a college dropout who's coming back to her hometown and reconnecting with old friends she hasn't seen since she went away to college, and realizing how much her town has changed. It's not the same place it was when she left it. I mean, at some level, it's basically like The Graduate. It's the Catchuate. It's the Catchuate. It's Garden State.
Just
It's the
rewatched
Garden State of video games.
just rewatched The Graduate for the first time since high school.
Yeah.
It
How did it
really
hold up?
like ooh oh yeah that it
That scene
actually
on the
it hit
bus at
me a
the
lot
end.
harder. It hit me a lot harder as a grown up. Like when I watched it in high school, I was too actually kind of caught up because The Graduate might be one of the most referenced non like genre movies, like it's you know
Yeah.
like Star Wars or like or maybe like
Yeah.
Citizen Kane is probably also one of the most
Yeah.
referenced. But like The Graduate is definitely up there. And like when I was watching The Graduate for the first time, uh I was just so focused on it's like Wayne's World did that. Like you know,
This
like it's
movie's
like
ripping
this
off
was in The
Wayne's World.
Simpsons, this was in
Yeah.
The Simpsons, this
Yeah.
was in The Simpsons, this was in The
Yeah.
Simpsons, this was in The Critic.
I
Like
think when I first watched when I first watched it, I don't think I had experienced ennui yet
Right.
and didn't
Yes.
have a good appreciation for this emotional state. And
Exactly.
now I get it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And I mean, I think jokingly, but I think Night in the Woods is dipping into some similar territory with that. Again, um, a beloved game. Why not you go back and finish? But I think it fits neatly in this category. I think what's interesting about this one to me, especially, is the juxtaposition of what could. It almost looks like, I don't know, like construction paper cut out. Children's book graphics, children's storybook graphics combined with pretty weighty themes in a way.
Yeah. 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 I have to check that out. I think I might have it. I think that might have been in an itch bundle. One of
I was gonna
the
say, it feels like a
itches.
game that anyone who plays adventure games has in GOG or itch or Steam, if not
It's I
multiple.
think I have it somewhere.
Everyone that's ever bought a bundle has bought some bundle probably that has given them Not in the Woods by now.
Here's one. And this is one of my recent favorites. Perfect Tides.
Oh, perfect tides. There's some ennui.
That's a heavy ennui
Yeah.
game. That's the game Perfect Tides is a game by I believe Meredith Gran, um
Yeah.
which is it's getting a sequel I think next year, soonish.
Yeah. Soonish.
And uh and I was such a big fan. Perfect. This is how much I like Perfect Tides. I kickstarted the sequel to whatever the cost was to get my to be a silent bystander in the background. So my face is going to be in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Can you ask her if your character could be wearing a Quest t-shirt? Because that
Yeah.
would be great
Oh, that
product
would be
placement for us.
such great. That would yeah. I'll give her a buzz.
Just when you have the first creative meeting with all the backers,
Yeah, yeah. When we
uh,
have our creative meeting where
when you
she
guys sit down for the table read or whatever,
yeah
maybe pitch that.
yeah but all right, Perfect Tides is a game. It takes place in the year 2000, and you are a high school student that is like she's this weird young nerd kid. They're like her father passed away. The family is dealing and like the, and that and the game, I'm still thinking about The Graduate. Like the
Do,
game
do.
is do, 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 do. Yeah.
Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio?
But like
No, I'm sorry.
the game isn't like you don't go to like you don't see your father's funeral. You don't see, I forget how long it takes place after it, but it's
Hmm.
not directly about the death of your father, but it's about like about the death of your father. Like you
Yeah,
know what I mean. And it's also like about um like the uh online communities of that time, and how it felt to be a member of them, especially as a weird lonely teenager. And so like I was playing it, I was like, oh yeah, oh, yeah.
oh man, you see, I watched you stream this one. I think I
It
even guessed it on one of your streams for it, and this was fascinating to me because I'm just enough older than you
yeah.
that I didn't experience this. I'd never been on the internet or online at all until I was 18. So I never had the opportunity to have like what would be in hindsight a very cringe
Oh,
worthy experience
yeah.
as like a young teenager on the internet or something like that. Like I never sent an AOL instant messenger message to some girl that I had to deeply regret afterwards or
Ugh,
anything like that. Yeah.
ugh.
But
Ugh.
I could see, like, I could feel the connection just with you being, a few years younger than me, how differently this one hit.
Like, all right, so it's like, the email that we got from Dan who said he was born in 85. Like, so I was born in 86, and like he was playing like on the 286. Like, Dan, if you haven't played Perfect Tides, I'm going to assume that if you're playing, weird, obscure adventure games, in the early 90s, you probably were in a couple, weird internet groups in 1999. You're probably like, geocities around and whatnot, and being in like chat rooms and forums that you were probably too young to be in. I lurked in Jess's forum. I think I posted like maybe once or twice, but I was
That's so
intimidated
amazing
by
still. I
all those
love this
people there.
part of our weird
Oh
origin
yeah.
story.
But yeah, like it's like I think it's a great game for anyone to play, especially
Yeah.
like because these are themes that are universal,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if you were like playing that game. And also like when I stream, it's with my friends Sarah and Grayson, who are like, Grayson is just about exactly my age. Like I think his birthday is like right around, like I think it's just shortly after mine or something like that. um and like all three of us are about the same age, and all three of us are about the same kind of nerd. And so like all three of us are just like, oh, oh, like we were like just kind of talking in like a meta sense. It's like, oh, this is going to happen. Like, like it's like we just knew,
Yeah.
like Meredith Grand when she made this, and she's also like a well-known like web cartoonist. She did Octopus
Hmm.
Pie, which I've absolutely like I never read, but like I've gone back and read some of it. It's very good. But like what that also means is that the game looks gorgeous. Like it has
Oh
this that
yeah.
kind of like it's really well drawn. Um the uh but like she captures that like there's like, she's able to write the feeling of that moment, and to
Yes.
be that type of strange
Yeah.
isolated nerd is like it's very impressive. it's a
And
it's
it's
a
a
great
testament to
game.
the game that even as someone who again didn't fall into that category could, like, boy, it communicated it well to me. Like, all of a sudden it's just like I can very easily put myself in that space. It's like, yeah, I can imagine if I were 10 years younger, this would be exactly the kind of situation I would be finding myself in. So no, I mean, even if you weren't part of that specific age group, it still works.
It is like, and I think another thing in addition to like kind of like being, capital A about something,
Yeah.
is that like it like this is a game that's especially interesting as an adventure game because it has absolutely no fantastical elements whatsoever. Like it's just fiction.
Yeah. It's slice of life kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
She
which
can't
is
even
just,
rewind time.
yeah, there's no, yeah, you can't rewind time. Like in the Drifter, there's this like, supernatural stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like in
There's no
Kentucky Route
AI
Zero,
bird,
it is, yeah, like magical realism. In Norco, it's again like, yeah, it's fucking
techno
bonkers.
supernatural. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like Perfect Tides is like, yeah, like it is.
It's too real at times. It's just
Do
like,
you,
oh no.
Jess, did you watch the movie Ladybird? Did you see
Yes.
that movie?
Yes.
Great movie. And I
Hmm.
remember I saw it in a movie theater on a date, and I turned to my date and I went, "Oh my god." Is Ladybird I think takes place, I forget exactly what year. I think like it was like set in like 2003,
Yeah, I
somewhere
think that's
around
right.
there.
Ish.
And like it's set in a high school in like 2003, early aughts. Um and I turned to my date and I was like, "Oh my god, they're making a nostalgia movie about high school targeted to my age, like to people
Oh
my
no, Ben, I'm
age.
sorry.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like this means that I've like hit a point of adulthood. You
Another
know?
milestone toward death is
Yeah.
what you have
Like I was
just
like,
yeah.
oh, people are nostalgic for when I went to high school. I was just no.
Yeah, no. Ben, just earlier today, I was at a local bookstore and back in their used book section, and I saw a book that was like the Encyclopedia of Japanese Pop Culture. And I thought to myself, someone who teaches classes about pop culture and stuff, that could be pretty handy. I'm going to
Yeah.
pick this up and take a look at it. And I flipped to the copyright page, and it was copyright 1997. And for a brief moment, I was like, so this isn't so out of date. And I was like, oh, no, wait, let's do the math real quick. Oh, no. Oh, no.
1997 still feels like a new year to me too. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
no,
something about
it doesn't
1997. It
sound as
just kind
old
of
as it
has that
should.
feeling.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
no,
know. Here's all
that's
right. Here's
upsetting.
an interesting discussion. 1997 feels newer to me than 2005.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah,
Okay,
2000.
so
Yeah,
it's not like a crazy thing
yeah.
to say. You're with me. I don't even know how to
1997.
quantify this.
Yeah, 1997 sounds like it should have taken place. 1997 is kind of exciting as like a series of four numbers and a
Yeah,
date,
yeah, yeah.
but
I'm
like
totally with you.
2005 is nothing.
2005 feels like
It is
2005 doesn't really do that much for me. But I hear
it is a bowl of
1997.
chicken broth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear
yeah,
it's actually it's 95 to 98.
yeah.
I would say
96 isn't good.
no, that's right. Yeah, 96 isn't one, but
No,
95,
you very good.
97, 98.
Yeah, all good. 90. I don't know what's wrong with 96.
I don't know. It's the same problem with 2005. Like,
This is weird, Ben, because this is not a bit. Like the things you were saying right now,
yeah.
I could not possibly agree with more.
All right. If you share this mind illness, send us an email.
Consult a doctor.
Yeah.
First call your doctor.
Consult a doctor.
Yeah.
And then send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com. Because, all right, I'm glad this is something. All right, Jess, here's my 1995 thought, which is that I remember playing Master of Magic,
Mhm.
the Microprose game, and I believe that its initial release, I could be wrong. Let me look this up. Master of Magic. Um, no, not the 2000, like the two, like the 22 version. No one gives a shit about that. Sorry, people. All right, so it came out in September of 1994. Um, I remember we bought Master of Magic at KV, of course.
Mhm.
Installed it. Master of Magic famously, it's this like, kind of Civ style uh uh like city builder with fantastical elements. It's very good. Um but we like it crashed all the time famously, and so we tracked down the patch for it on like a BBS, such as you would. And the the copyright on the bottom switched from copyright 1994 Simtex Microprose
Uh-huh.
to copyright 1995. And in my head, still, that remains like an image of it's like, wow, like this is new.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I was just thinking about these weird runs of numbers like 1991, pretty good. 1993. Oh, now that sounds like we're moving somewhere. What's wrong with 1992 though?
Oh, 92. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
just
no, I
flat.
see. I can't go with you before 95.
I know
Those I
because
have
you
less
were
because
still
those I was too young. 95 is when I start
yeah,
having
but no,
ideas.
this is
Welcome
right.
to our numerology podcast.
Yeah, I mean, and there are patterns that start to emerge. I mean, first of all,
And that's
you
where you
know,
find God.
yeah,
That's very
yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah, yeah. and how we're going to start unraveling some of the conspiracies at the very core of our society.
So there was a recent Q drop that
Yeah.
uh
Look, this is a weird way to backdoor into the fact that this has been a QAnon podcast from the start.
all right.
Yeah, I was recently
Perfect
watching the
Tides,
new King of the
incredible
Hill.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? All right, no. All right, let's get back on topic. Perfect Tides, incredible game, big themes. It touched me, made me cry. All these games that we've listed, by the way, the ones that I've played, like of the like grown up variety,
Yeah.
like touch me, probably made me tear up at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Certainly Perfect Tides.
Yeah, I tear up easy though. Like I'm
Oh,
a sucker for
same,
that. Yeah.
same.
But I was also thinking in this category because I think this is something that a lot of games aim for and miss. Like I think this is a hard line. I think there are a lot of games out there that thought they were telling mature stories that may still be good games, but don't quite achieve this level. Like I was thinking, a game series I love it dearly. Think it's amazing. Some of the best adventure games ever made. I think the Gabriel Knight series
This is
is
an interesting thing because Gabriel Knight was on the list of
okay.
games I was thinking of discussing,
This is
and
good.
like you know, so I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on how it because like Gabriel Knight is like again, this is not putting down games that aren't this like it's
No,
like,
no,
but it's like I don't really think that like King's Quest is trying to say something. I
no.
don't think that like this is actually why we won't podcast about it. I don't think like Space Quest is trying to say something.
Mhm.
Like Gabriel
Wow,
Knight like
wow,
has
Ben.
sorry, sorry Scott, sorry Mark, sorry Josh a little bit on the last game.
Hmm.
Um, but like so Gabriel Knight has adult themes, it has like sexy themes, it has like adult like conversations. It is ostensive like it is about I think I disagree with you.
Okay,
I disagree with
okay.
you. Sorry. You
See, I think
wrote
there's
like a piece for fucking Waypoint about like adult themes in Gabriel Knight too.
I did, but then I think it's like I think Gabriel Knight sometimes maybe gets too trapped in like the silliness of the genre. Like I think there's still like wacky adventure game puzzles in it here and there. And I'm not going to complain about the cat hair thing because I mean they're there in all three games where there's just bits that feel very contrived and in the genre. I agree though; it's trying to engage with adult themes. Does it have? I don't know if it has a message in the
So
way that some of these other games that we've talked
I
about
think
do.
two does
Other
just
than
by
shot and Jaegers
merit
are cool.
of like, being like a computer game in the 90s with queer themes.
Hmm.
I think that that
That
includes it.
alone,
I think that
yeah,
that's enough. Um
yeah.
this is why I'll say Gabriel Knight 1 is a game for grown-ups. Um and it is the way that Gabriel and Grace talk to each other in the first
Okay,
scene is what makes it a game for grown-ups because the way that they like kind of talk like there is something about the specific writing, especially for like how he, he's allowed, but the their interplay and the way that it's just like kind of like there's just this understanding that Grace has of who Gabriel is
yeah.
and how they kind of interact and how like they appreciate each other in the way that they do. There's just something that feels very mature to me about
You know,
about how they relate to each other, especially in the
mhm.
first scene of Gabriel Knight 1.
Okay, I like that a lot. I think that that's a really fair point. Maybe this is one that really sits at the crossroads really nicely too, in the sense that there's enough of the silly adventure game stuff, I think, to bring kids into it. I wasn't a kid, but when I played this, I think I was 16 for the first time, and I was like, "Yeah, this is a cool Sierra adventure. It's just this one's New Orleans mystery this
Yeah,
go around. But I do think there's stuff in there for adults to appreciate. As you said, by the time you get to Gabriel Nut to, again, just, I mean, first of all, incorporating sexuality in a mature way at all, much less, incorporating queer themes. That alone, yeah, does it. So I've walked myself back to, I've not put these in there. I mean, I was trying to think of other like Sierra and LucasArts games. Like, I guess if you want to do dynamics, like they were trying with Heart of China and Rise of the Dragon,
never
I
played
think.
those. I could not. Like,
I spent some. Maybe they were mature because I bounced off. I bought both of them as a kid, like, and bounced off of them crazy hard. Like, could not. I bought them at full price with my own money and bounced off of them so hard because Interaction told me they were amazing.
hmm.
Um, did LucasArts? I mean, is the Dig the most mature LucasArts adventure, or is it just
I haven't
boring?
played the Dick, so
I know. I mean, I've only
is
seen bits of
being boring what makes something like for grown-ups? And I
it. Yeah, I
will
mean, I
tell
think it's
you that I appreciate boring things way more as an
yeah,
adult. I think there's something quite sublime
yeah.
about something that is really boring.
I think it's easy to mistake a boring game for a mature game. You can be like, oh, it wouldn't be moving at this pace if it wasn't very serious. That's why I would say Simon the Sorcerer, because of its glacial pace, is maybe one of the most mature games I've ever played.
I think it's easy to mistake I think it's easy to mistake word density
Uh huh.
and like maybe like violence or like actually like the
Mm-hmm.
categories like for a game for grown-ups, but when it's really like, oh, it just has a lot of words.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'd call like, let's say, and this isn't an adventure game, um, but like I wouldn't call like Planescape Torment uh, a game for
Okay.
grown-ups, even
Yeah.
though it has all the criteria that I just said, and I like that game. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put it down to just
Mm-hmm.
frustrate some of the listeners.
Yeah. Is Life is Strange? Or is it too teenage melodrama to really feel like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's a game for grown-ups.
I don't either. I would not put it,
Yeah,
it's engaging with
but that's not who the
some mature
audience. That's not
themes.
who the audience is intent. I think also like a key
You're
part
creating it in
of
a
it
way
is that
to
when
who
they're
do you want to
making it,
enjoy this game?
if they're envisioning a person playing it,
Yes.
like they're thinking of a grown-up, and like they're probably like when they were making Life is Strange, they probably were like, yeah, probably it's going to be played by people in their 30s and 40s that make podcasts, but but they were really hoping that like 16-year-olds would enjoy it.
We need a 16-year-old with a Tumblr to play our game.
Exactly.
That is, yeah,
We
that is
need
who the audience is there.
someone with real feelings about who should be kissing who on Supernatural to uh, be playing this game.
Oh god, I can imagine like the chart that some marketing person put up at the Life is Strange development means like, this is who we want. Do you see this? These are supernatural shippers. These are the people that are going to sell copies of this game.
But it's like, a lot of stuff can be designed for multiple audiences. It's like Star
Absolutely.
Trek is like a show for little kids and babies, and then sometimes it has big, like, grown up themes. Like, it's like,
Have you seen this Tuvix?
yeah, I've heard of Tuvix.
You know
Yeah,
what would be
Tuvix.
you
Y'all
know what
talking
would
about
be
Tuvix?
you know it'd be an even tougher moral dilemma?
What
A
up?
Threevix.
All right, well, that's a great episode of television. The was it called Threevix?
Is there a Threevix?
The Lower
Oh,
Decks
oh,
episode.
we were just talking before we went live today about how I just steal great ideas from
Yeah,
other people and forget that I stole
the
them. Oh,
Threevix. Is that the
jeez.
name of what's the name of the there's a Tuvix Lower Decks Tuvix.
Or should you just name it?
It's called Tuvix, but TWO Vix.
Oh, that's even
It's a real.
better.
Have you seen? Or I forget. Have you watched all Lower Decks?
I have, but
Yeah,
apparently forgotten
that's
all
a
of it
great
also.
episode because it
Dang it.
also like it has such a great laugh in it where it's like, wait, she killed him.
Yeah, if you have
What the
thoughts
fuck?
on whether Janeway should have killed Tuvix or not, yeah, just send them to questquestpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, Tuvix.
Oh,
Do you
Tuvix.
have any more adult I like we didn't talk about other like horror or violent.
No.
Here's the thing, I didn't have any other ones other than um the Drifter. I would assume
Yeah,
maybe Sanitarium, which I've never played.
yeah.
Maybe that fits in there.
In that last category, I think, yeah, Sanitarium was on my list there. Again, I haven't played it. Um, I haven't played Phantasmagoria 2, but as I understand, it tries to engage with some mature themes in a way that I think Phantasmagoria 1 thought it was.
Yeah, I was gonna
I mean,
say, is
that's an example.
Phantasmagoria 1 a game for grown-ups?
No, it
Right,
is a game for children who want to think they're playing a game for grown-ups,
right.
which is probably what Leisure Suit Larry
Yeah.
is fairly
I
as
think
well. It's a
we're this is something we're kind of, as my therapist says, it's like, yeah, we're just kind of feeling around, like we're just kind of, like this is moving around. You're trying to figure it out,
Yeah, and I think, yeah, we're nailing this down. I think that's what it is. I think Phantasmagoria is a game for kids who want to feel like they're playing a game for adults. It feels scary, and it does deal with some, mature themes that arguably are disturbing, but simply doesn't have the narrative weight to offer any kind of real critical eye on those things or generate meaningful reflection. It's just a kind of ultimately a silly game. From what I understand, Phantasmagoria 2, under the direction of Lorelei Shannon, does a little bit better with like actually delving into psychological horror rather than the Shining style horror.
Yeah, I think there's also like kind of a difference of like making something where you're like it's for adults, but you're really making like something for an edgy 13-year-old.
Mhm. Oh, I have no
And
mouth and I must scream. I think might fall into that
I
category.
don't know. It's hard to like. I gotta. Yeah, I don't know.
That game, I don't
I
know if there's
haven't
an adventure game that turns me off more than that one.
really.
Yeah, like it could be like in terms of just bouncing. I've tried to play it several times through the years. My roommate in college just adored this game. Thought it was the best game he'd ever played, and just I don't something about the vibe of that one, man. It turns me straight off. I'm like Leisure Suit Larry.
Well, that's interesting because Harlan Ellison, the guy that wrote it, is generally well known to be warm and welcoming and kind. Uh,
And not divisive in his work. Yeah, I mean,
or in the way that he treated
yeah,
people.
yeah. We tried to get him on the pod.
Yeah, he wasn't available.
Yeah, which just shows you what kind of jerk he is. He didn't return a single email.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
come
have
on.
one more quick one before we wrap, which is I don't like I mean, I don't know if this even counts as an adventure game, but it was like this was I think this was the game that made me like kind of start to think of this distinction. Like when I completed it, I was
Hmm.
like, I just played a game that was for grown-ups. Like this, like
I'm a
uh,
big boy now.
this is a game that like talked to me and treated me like I'm an adult and didn't talk down to me as if I was a child. And that was the game Pentiment. Um,
Oh,
and I don't know what you like. I don't know what genre like because it's a game from Obsidian, and Obsidian makes RPGs, and like it's developed by Josh Sawyer, who
hmm
designs RPGs. Like it's like, oh yeah, it's an RPG. But like, I don't know, is it like it doesn't have like combat? It doesn't have like
elves.
yeah, it doesn't have elves. Seen any elves? It's a Morrowind reference.
Oh man.
It doesn't have
Mhm.
it doesn't have combat or like like there's kind of, but anyway, like it's a game that like just essentially lives on the page
Yeah.
and like almost literally and uh is like it was one of the first games of these like that I like played that we're talking about where like it just really like I was like, oh, this is like this game has like big ideas.
Yeah.
And
Here's one
it's yeah, go ahead.
that I think we like to mention every 3 or 4 episodes, kinda like Norco.
Yeah.
Immortality.
Oh, immortality, absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's like got nudity. It's
So
like
it's got that's right. It's got all the good stuff.
but it's got nudity, but it's not like titillating, right? Like
No,
it's
I
not
know
trying to
it's
titillate you at all. Like
no. Yeah. Odds are by the time you see the nudity, you've seen something within the last 5 minutes prior to that that deeply upset you that you're going to think about, like, when you turn off the lights that night. It's gonna be
yeah.
that upsetting thing that sticks with you, not the nudity.
Yeah, you've probably like, played it and then like heard like a weird sound and then
Yeah,
was just like
yeah.
it stirred and felt like something move. Yeah, we didn't talk about immortality. Immortality's absolutely all the yeah, immortality I would say the most of those is like a game that I was like, yeah, this is a game like, oh man, yeah, that's a game for grown-ups all the fuck over.
Yeah, no, I mean it's got it all. That one in terms of like hitting these various categories of what an adult game might be, and it's a good game. That's
Yeah.
why we talk about it every 3 or 4 episodes.
Well, and this is the thing. Like it's like when I like I enjoy a lot of shit. Like I enjoy
You're
everything.
constantly enjoying shit.
Like and uh you know, I but you know, the thing about a game like, Kentucky Route Zero or a game like Perfect Tides or Immortality, to mention it again. Um, like those are games that really like kind of reach into me and like touch me in some way and
Yeah,
like kind of stick to me and uh like and that's not what I'm always looking for, you know
right.
like Mario and Luigi, I said to you, 5 hours ago when we began this podcast, like great game, great game, great game, love that game. you
Mhm.
know that game's not going to touch you. Like,
No, I don't know. I feel bad for Luigi a lot in it. Like a lot of the characters can't remember his name, and I feel like it's like sometimes like, yeah, I've been there, Luigi. People have like called me Jeff half of my life, and it really hurts my feelings. So I get it. No, it's yeah, no, it's I mean, you say that, Ben, but that's the thing. This is subjective.
yeah.
But you
Uh,
heard here first. Video game tastes are subjective.
but anyway, yeah. So I mean, that's like, you know, it was like playing the drifters such as I did and completing it. Just hours ago. Like I walked away from it and I was like, oh, I have like it made me think thoughts, which is always a very
Yeah.
pleasant thing, except when it's not. You know.
Yeah. And you're going I mean, it's probably the kind of game that your thoughts will drift back to. Like I mean, the last game of this sort that I probably played that, that again we've talked about exhaustively. I mean, I still think about Norco from time to time, even though it's been a few months now
Oh, dude.
since my playthrough of it. It stuck with me, and I think that that's something that I mean, you can put all the hardcore sex scenes you want to into King's Quest V, and
Yeah.
it's just not going to get stuck in your head the same way.
I mean, listen, like the feathers get involved and it gets really messy in King's Quest 5. But you know, like let me tell you, Jess. Uh, Jess is thinking about a Garfield that he read earlier.
That's right. This is a very good Garfield.
But
He pushed Odie off the table.
it's good. Jess, during that trip I took recently that I probably got COVID at the airport coming back from, I like I had I think it was like at the airport or something. when I was busy getting COVID. Um, I was like, you know what? Let's check in on Norco. Let's see how our old friends in uh Norco are doing. And I played it, and I was just like, man, one of my best professors in college said to me, like one of my favorite professors, like said in the class, uh, and he was quoting his favorite professor. The best part, or what was it? It was reading. The best part about reading a book for the first time is how it prepares you for your second time that you read it,
Oh, that's
and
good.
something like that. And like so, I spent like 2 hours in Norco again playing those first sections, and it hit me just as hard,
Yeah.
even harder actually. Um, and and that's a great way to and that's a thing where I'm gonna leave. Like, maybe that's something I'd like to leave it with, because it's like for a lot of these like kind of big ideas, it's like these are things where I go back, and it just kind of reveals like
Yeah.
kind of more within its themes,
Mhm.
and all of that. So yeah,
Well, you've
Norco,
listened
great
to
game.
another episode of our Norco Fancast.
Yep. And
Norco Co.
Immortality, Norco hyphen immortality hyphen numerology
Yeah.
hyphen Q drops.
And all those listeners out there is like, when is Ben going to let Jess talk about Space Quest? That's just like, I don't want to hear about these new games, these fancy new games. But we're going to keep talking about Norco and Immortality. I'm sorry.
And maybe one day we'll talk about, like, and it's also it's like, I have, like, I'm a Space Quest 5 is my favorite Space Quest, and I know like there's some
Well,
people that
that's
are very like there's some people who very much agree with me, and some people who vehemently disagree with
yeah,
me. I don't want to
that's
have.
objectively
Yeah.
correct. I mean, we'll eventually do our Sierra bracket, and we'll see who squares off at the end. But it won't be Space Quest 4.
Oh, it won't. No. Man, that Sierra bracket is gonna be that's gonna be one of I think it'll be the easiest, but also the hardest.
I
It'll
have a
be
lot more
amazing when
trouble.
EcoQuest wins.
It's gonna be, yeah. People are gonna be like, "Where did that come
Or
from?"
Echo Quest,
And
EcoQuest, Echo Quest, Echo,
I call it
Uma,
Eco
Okra,
Quest.
Eco. Yeah,
I say ecological though too,
yeah,
and I say eek the cat.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm an eek guy.
Park the car in Harvard Yard. All right,
Yeah.
this has been Quest, the adventure game podcast.
We both are sleepy, so we're gonna quit talking now.
it it's 11:38. It's THX o'clock over at where Jess is. So we
I'm sorry,
really need
THX
to
o'clock.
fucking wrap this.
Thank you for listening, gang.
5 stars. Tell a friend.
Yeah,
Hashtag, what was it?
Homeburger.
Homeburger.
Get on social media,
Oh.
share a link to this episode with hashtag Homeburger.
I mean, will we even remember when we're posting this on Tuesday? Will
I'm going to
we
tell you, Ben,
remember Homeburger?
by Tuesday, I will be surprised at the topic of this episode when I see it show up in my podcatcher. I'm going to be like, shit, I did an episode about adult games?
Just
Cool.
when we were talking about ideas for this, I pitched an idea that we recorded like 2 months ago. So it's like,
That's true.
they're like, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, I don't know, streaming. They're like, Ben, I think we already did that. And I was like, I don't think so, Jess. And it's like,
What was weird was it's sad because like I was so cautious typing that. I'm like, Ben would not have suggested that if we had done it before. I must be the one who is wrong here.
and I said to you, I was like, oh, it's probably COVID brain, but honestly, it wasn't. It was just like, it was once something is podcast. This is my brain like deleting a lot of waste. Uh,
Yes, that's. I'm defragging into this
yeah,
podcast
I'm
every
defragging.
week. I take all the new thoughts I have about Norco and immortality in the course of a week. I dump it into this podcast and I start over fresh.
Yeah. As the week goes by, more thoughts about immortality and Norco like kind of slowly fill up in my brain, and then like the a meter, like I become, my whole face becomes red, and then just steam shoots out in the form of being droll on a podcast until my face is drained of color.
That's podcasting, baby.
All right. Yeah, it's at quest at gmail.com. If you think that 1997 is a newer year than 2005.
Now, again, we don't give me some sort of bullshit calendar answer. I don't want to see like you showing me chronologically one happened before the other, whichever one that might be. What we want from you is the sense of which one seems more recent. That is time is a flat circle. First of all, we can agree on that, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. If I say which is newer, 1997 or 2005, you've got to agree it's 1997.
Yeah, that's right.
It's open and shut. I can't think of two dates that are more obvious.
They're the only people that would disagree with us is the United States Supreme Court. So because they got everything wrong. So it's late. It's late. It's almost midnight for Jess. He's gonna turn into a fucking pumpkin.
At this point, I'll probably just stay up through tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna stay up until
I'll probably play Norco.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go right back into bed, restart the drifter. I don't know. The world's my fucking oyster. All right. Quest podcast at gmail.com. And join us next week when we talk about Norco. And then 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 we talk about immortality. And then we talk about Norco. And then we talk about immortality.